guys.
Morning.
Welcome to my training today. I've received a few good things, bad things from the GM. The reason why I'm here is to give you a little bit of tips and do's and don'ts on what's going on in the hotel right now. So before that, I'm Irwan. I'm coming from the Customers Relation department. So I think you guys see me before, right? So
Yeah.
Okay. So lately, what has been going on?
I can see that the GM is a bit unhappy. Not only my department, which is the front office, also is unhappy with the housekeeping. Restaurant side.
By the way, I didn't hear your name.
Vishnu.
Vishnu from front office.
Front office.
Right. You?
Fiona from the reservations.
Say any problems from your department?
Do have, but just that we are receiving more and more complaints lately through the call. The guests were calling and saying
A lot of complaints, right?
RP complaints.
So for the one at the back there, any problems?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
And the other one down there? No also.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, so mainly complaints come because of unsatisfied guests, something went wrong somewhere, somehow. So what happened is we as hoteliers, we should acknowledge that whatever complaint is actually a negative thing, but to us we should take it as a feedback. As things actually is whether how you think about it, is it positive or negative. So the negative part is it's a complaint. The good thing is we can improve by that. Okay, moving on. Okay, so today the objective is to handle complaints. As easy as that. Just how to handle complaints. Because complaining, it's easy for us to complain, but for us to handle the complaint, it's really the other way around. So we have to learn how to read the guest, anticipate what kind of guest he is or she is, and when she's in front of you telling you something, and you must know how to anticipate and read his body gestures, his the way he speaks, his tone of voice. Everything is really important. So if you just by sudden to come past this kind of situation, like guys screaming, slamming the table, and so on, we as hoteliers, we should not ever get angry or take it the wrong way, because if we cannot keep ourselves calm, we wouldn't be able to calm someone else when you're not calm your own self. So keeping calm makes you think more. So next, why must we know how to handle them? As I said before, that is one of the ways, but for how to handle them, we have a few big issues lately that our managers, what they did was, the guests complained. So what happened to them is, the manager didn't investigate further, and what he did was, he just give him an upgrade, give him a free room, one free night. So I think that is really not appropriate thing to do, because we are handling a business. So what do you think, Vishnu? What do you think?
First of all, of course we cannot make the guests even more angry. I think we have to stay calm. Our body posture also is very important, so that the guests don't think that we don't care about them. Giving free stuff to the guests is not actually good for the hotel.
Yep, bad for business. So Ms. Fiona, what do you think in your point of view?
I think what is easy for them to say that is keep calm. But the thing is, from what I see from some of my staff, sometimes is the way the tone they were talking when they were on the phone is changes. Actually, whenever I think complain, I can see that they changes and they are getting a bit defensive and all. So it's a lot easier to say, but when you're doing it, it's difficult to apply. Because I can see from their face that when they're handling complaint, you just know because it's written all over their faces. They'll be like, no. They'll be, you can hear the no continuously and all those. The telltale is that.
Your experience has spoken up. So that's really true based on what Fiona said. It's really true that sometimes we humans, when we handle stuff, we're trying to solve things, we don't really think much on how we talk, our tone. And we think that we are talking the right way, like, I'm sorry sir, I cannot give you this, but the problem is, when we say things that it might sound very nice, but for the guests, they are already mad. They are already in an unfit state. So it would be quite offensive to them when we speak the normal way we speak. So we have to watch on the way we speak. For free things, it's really inappropriate. We are doing a business, not a charity job. So guest is always right. Like like the rules that we have talked about last time. There's only 2 rules about guests. Rule number 1, guest is always right. Rule number 2, refer to the first rule. So I know it's sad for us as hoteliers to face this kind of people, and sometimes it really hurts our feeling, but we have to. It's our job. It's our duty. Resolve problem peacefully. Peacefully sounds very nice, right? But it's hard to be peaceful. And most of the time when the guest is screaming at you, I want my room now. What time is it now? It's time for me to check in and I don't have my room. Yes, it's hard for us, but we still have to patiently handle it. And the last one, for maintain loyalty. The main reason for maintaining loyalty is for this kind of business, right, all we want is regular customers and loyal customers. Because when we have them, without thinking twice for their side, they would just straight away pick us as their favorite. Because they are used to us, they feel personalized and they feel comfortable with us. If we provide them a 5-star service that is really memorable, they will stay loyal to us without even thinking twice. Because they will have that sense of the feeling of not home when they go to another hotel, when they are very satisfied with our hotel. Right? Okay, standard operating procedure. Firstly, when we have a guest complaint, I'm not sure for your side, reservation side, so how is your SOP and how do you handle guest complaints?
Basically, first we try to identify our complaints. Then after that, maybe we will try, if we can, we will inform them that what we are going to do, basically, and after finish, then we will follow up with them.
It's very good one. For front office, how do you?
Okay, front office, for us it's a bit harder because we are facing the guests. So sometimes I see my colleagues, they get very impatient, so I will have to, it's either me take over or if it's like a really bad situation, I'll call the GM. Not the GM, the duty manager. Yeah.
That's a very good one. Because I know sometimes even I myself have been in that kind of position when I'm already at a pissed state that I'm really not happy and I'm really angry with the guests as well. So what I did was I called my friend, come in, take over my place and settle him. Or if even my colleague cannot settle it, then I'll call my duty manager to handle it. Because sometimes I understand, when the guests get into your nerve, it's really hard to handle them. So what happened is we have to try to pass it on to someone else to help you instead of causing more problems. So now I'll just say basically how it goes. For identifying complaints, the first thing is you need to identify what's the problem. We know that some guests, they tend to go around the bush, not saying things, and Actually, the simplest thing was saying the waiter is rude, but he said, my service is not right, this and that, blah blah blah, and she go around the whole bush, and then at the end, the only problem is the waiter is rude. So now the thing is, identify the complaint. The way to do it is you have to acknowledge whatever they say. Have a sense of empathy towards them. Be in their shoe. Try to think what happens if you are in their shoe. If, for example, if you think that what they are going through is wrong, and we ourselves should feel the same way for them. So in a way, we should, once we feel their feelings, so in the same way we would know how to handle them, because we already have their feelings inside and we know how to solve it. So giving attention meaning pay attention. Don't, when the guest is complaining to you, try to give them eye contact. Try to talk to them in a good manner and try to calm them down, so that they will have the right mind to speak to you and complain to you and tell you the feedback. So actually, angry guest is like a balloon. We are the one holding the pole, right? And once the balloon goes bigger and bigger, what happens to it is the angry guest is already mad. So they're angry. The steam is coming up, and if we don't release the steam, what happens is it would explode. So meaning to say, we have to give attention that we release his stress. And sometimes I understand when the guest is so angry, we have to call our duty manager to bring them for a drink in our cafe to release their stress. So sometimes these kind of difficult guests, it's not easy to handle. So investigate. Investigate meaning if you know that things that the guest said was not really 100% true, you should think about it. Try to investigate. Go up, ask the housekeeping manager what's wrong with the room if the guest is complaining about the room. If the guest is complaining about the waiter, go and ask the F&B manager what's wrong. Then let the F&B manager handle it. And then you will just follow up whatever the guest complaint is. Then take action. This
Already
That's
recorded.
the same question. Any question?
Okay. Continue back where we are. Sorry, the camera was off. So, yeah, for your question just now.
Yeah, like if the guest is really angry, I don't think giving a free drink voucher, I don't think that's the problem. I think giving a free drink voucher is much more cheaper than a free room for the guest.
True. But the thing is, when I mean free drink just now was one of our duty manager or whoever that is a manager should bring them for a coffee and talk to them, in the sense that since we as operational staff couldn't get to calm them down, so what we do is we get our superiors to bring them for a cup of coffee and talk to them. So what happens is when you bring them for a coffee, you releases the boundaries in between them and us. So at least they will have a better comfortable feeling on talking with us. At least we know what is the big main issue. Does that answer your question? Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, but the thing is, we are from reservation, so it's like sometimes it's really difficult. We couldn't possibly say, could you please come to the restaurant? Maybe we could have a cup of coffee, over your complaints. Then think about more about it. It might be a bit agitated because we are like going out of topic.
But to me, if I were in your shoe, I would think that ask the guest if it's okay for us to get our superiors to contact him and get get this recovery service done. Because in a way, if we leave it and just put down the phone, what happens is if you don't release the steam here to us, he would explode the steam outside. So in a way, it's bad for business when they start complaining to friends and families. So it's better for us to do service recovery as soon as possible.
Yes, but if they are calling through the food and you're doing the service recovery, so you just ask them to go out there and talk to them?
No, for me, I would say that for ask them for permission whether is it okay if I get my duty manager to call you and settle further for this complaint. If they are willing to, then it's lucky for us. But if they are not willing to, then we should just let it be in a way and just take note of whatever has been written down and pass it to our duty manager. At least there is some progress rather than nothing at all. Right? Continuing on. Demonstration. Can I have the girl at the back there, Sarah, if I'm not mistaken, Sarah, right?
Yeah.
Alright, Sarah and Fiona. Please, I would love you two to do a demo for me. I think Fiona will do a better angry guess and you do this the service recovery. Right? Please come forward.
Temperamental.
Alright, just Fiona, now I want you to imagine you're at the front office. What happened is this guest comes to your table and slams the table and asks you, what time is it? It's time for me to check in. What happened? I want my room. I'm tired. I just took an 18-hour flight and I just landed and you're asking me to wait. So you just imagine, you can imagine that situation.
That's the rough idea.
Yeah, that's a rough idea. So you have to do this recovery. Right? Just right. Alright. Anything you can ask, no worries.
Where's my room? I've been here for like, what time is it now? It's 2:10? I'm supposed to be checking in like hours ago. Where's my room? I've been under the flight for like 18 hours.
Oh, may I know what's your room number? Is it?
She
I
is
have not
waiting
checked
for
in.
a room.
I'm waiting for the room. I'm getting impatient and I'm dying because I'm jet lagged.
Okay, so the thing is, if you know that the guest is already angry, pissed, try not to give them give them a question or answer that is doesn't make sense at all. So now what happened is she's already slamming the door. She wants a room. So for your point of view, you have to think for her that she's already tired. She wants a room. If, let's say for example, the room is not ready, I know for front office part, room not ready. So what happened is, you can get them to send to the recreation, the rest and recreate center, meaning the showering center, the place for them to shower, rest. At least that's for temporary. At least she can rest rather than being mad. So you have to think for their point. So try continuing.
So should I offer drinks?
Yes, you can offer, but don't do too much to the extent of free room, but you can do whatever you do. Just do and I'll tell you if it's fine or not.
Ma'am, I'm sorry to hear what you're going through. Probably my guest assistant, the receptionist will help you. Assist you to the nearest cafe to have a complimentary drink. Yeah, you can have a rest. I'll do my best to get the room for you as soon as possible.
Okay. That is just nice. I'm going to make the situation even harder. I want you to be extra angry and say, I don't want anything like that, I just want my room.
Okay, no, I just want my room. I don't want anything else. I don't need complimentary drink. I just want my room.
If for you, what would you do?
I would call the housekeeping department and see if, what's the best time.
Okay, but the problem is if you you are already in this kind of situation, definitely you know that the housekeeping is doing their work or it's really, really rushing. So I would suggest you to call maybe your duty manager or whosoever to come out and please the guests, because when the guest feels that they are the priority, the big people comes out and talk to them, they feel very relieved because they are the man, they're the boss. Because you have the superior to come and calm it down. So because sometimes guests like this, it's hard because they are mad, they are agitated, like not enough rest. Right? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So for the demonstration, basically I think you guys already seen that is what is happening out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go to the next slide. Okay, question and answers. What causes the guest complaint? Yeah.
Sometimes it depends on the cause, but I think mainly could be that our services could be a problem. Like for example, like just now earlier the demonstration because we couldn't finish up the room on time. We tried, but sometimes there are times that we are humans, you know, where we don't have robots for housekeeping, so this can cause the
Yeah, and sometimes it's not even our housekeeping's fault when the guest before this has a late checkout.
sometimes the guest complaints they are too demanding. It not necessarily could be our problem, but yeah, sometimes it's
Sometimes it's not even a problem because it's just trying to hard.
Yeah, just trying to get free room. I get that. Really, really true. So the next question: what are the consequences if you don't handle the guest complaint properly?
They will start complaining on hotel booking websites.
and our image will be ruined.
Yeah.
Yes. There's many things that can happen if this happens. We do not want our hotel standards to drop. We are working in it, and our faces represents the name of the hotel. So basically, all of this is really important that we know how to handle guest complaints. Because when the guest complains to us, it's a good thing. But when the guest complains outside of here, what happened? There's many things that would happen, right?
Yes.
Okay, summary. I guess you guys already know how to handle guest complaints. I don't want to go further deeper. Any other questions from you guys? So just remember the SOP of how to handle guest complaint. Smile all the time. Acknowledge sense of empathy. Alright, thank you. Nothing much from me. Alright? If there's anything, please give me a call if you really need anything, any problems you have, you need someone to guide you with, please do feel free to call me. Alright? Take care guys.